Well, hello out there, and welcome to Bleav in the Dallas Cowboys. I'm Jeff Cavanaugh of 97.1 The Freak. Sometimes people ask me, like, you're on the radio? What's your radio voice sound like? I'm like, no, talk radio, you don't do that. I guess some people do. Anyway, welcome to Bleav in the Dallas Cowboys. I am Jeff, and that's Jesse Holley, former Cowboys wide receiver.
Oh, Jesse Holley went 77 yards. It must be a reality show.
And together we are us.
Yes.
Hi. Welcome to the warm embrace that is Bleav in the Dallas Cowboys, where today we will regale you with tales of Zack Martin bringing his ass to camp, of Ezekiel Elliott finding a new home, and of Jesse Holley. What will he hate on today?
Yeah.
I already know. I already know what you're hating on today. I do. I'll lead you to it.
Which is weird because it's something that you historically hate on, but all of a sudden has turned I don't even know, turned a cheek, turned a just a weird veer back to the other way. But
look, Jesse, the world is a paradox, and I don't even know what that means, but I just said the sentence. I don't even know. This is brought to you by our friends at BetOnline, your number one source for all your betting needs. But also, you guys, I saw some people in the comments of a YouTube video the other day. Don't be betting preseason football, for crying out loud. What are we? Stop it. Unless you're having a great time. Do what you want. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for every sport. BetOnline, the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting, your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device. Sign up today. Use the promo code Bleav, BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline where the game starts. Yeah, so Zack Martin's in camp. Zeke got a job with Patriots. That's great. Why do you hate Deuce Vaughn, Jesse? Why do you hate such a good player?
I don't hate Deuce Vaughn. I actually like Deuce Vaughn as a human being. I met him as a person. I got a chance to talk to him. But my thing is, we all do these overreactions, right? And I try to be the person who stays as level as possible. And yeah, Deuce Vaughn played the second half of the first preseason game of NFL football. And now everyone is saying how Deuce Vaughn should be RB2. I am just not sold. I am just not sold that Deuce Vaughn is even going to crack this rotation when it comes down to real football. I'm still not sold there. Here's what I am sold on. No. Here's what I am sold on. I'm just a firm believer of this. Here's what I am sold on. I think he has absolutely great vision. I do. I Bleav he has great vision and he has elusiveness. Part of that is because he's 5'5", but also part of that is because he's very shifty. He moves quickly. He has those capabilities. But until I see him effectively run the football in the earlier quarters with guys who will actually make the route, then I'm sold. I'm just not sold on that. And I know how much this team go down in the league. That there may be ways to find roles for Deuce Vaughn, at some point in time of the season. But again, I'm going to stand on the fact also that you're paying Tony Pollard $10.1 million. And now when you're trying to divide the carries up, and you and I went over this a week ago, I just don't see where you're getting and finding carries for Deuce Vaughn, for Malik and or Rico and Tony Pollard, and whatever that Rojo may be when he comes back from his 2-game suspension. That's why I think he makes this roster, but I do think that you'll see a lot of DMPs for Deuce Vaughn.
I think you're a psycho. The backups were playing against the backups, and Deuce Vaughn did what really good players do. He stood out as the best player in the field when the backups were up against the backups. And I actually think Rico and Malik Davis are fine. You know how I feel about running backs. One's the same as the next. I mean, there's 150 guys who can do the job. Just find one. I think Deuce gets to be an outlier because he's 5'5", so the league ignored him. Deuce Vaughn has been better than Rico Dowdle his whole life. he's been better than Malik Davis his whole life. You can just look at what they did when they were in college. One of them was a superstar, and the other two were, yeah, I was on the team and I got the ball some.
Yeah, but you're talking about Malik Davis went to where, right? Texas, right?
Florida.
Florida. I'm sorry, Florida. I mean, that's different. Florida's different from Kansas State.
Kansas State played Alabama and TCU and a bunch of good teams. And you know who crapped on those awesome teams? Deuce. Okay. Deuce Vaughn has played against whoever you want him to play against, and he has punched them in the face because he's amazing. Stop hating small people.
No, I
hate small people. And you know what? You know what? I've done this before, and I was probably wrong. Because I love the small football player. I love our Darius Washington, who, by the way, he's 5'7" and 170 pounds, and he's still on the Ravens. Why? Because he's a hellified football player. But do I understand when you're a little tiny person? Sure, it's harder to bat down a pass. It's harder to get around a big body who's going to catch the ball. It's harder to tackle a guy who's bigger than me. Cool, fair. At running back, not a disadvantage. Except if you want to talk about like pass pro or can you be a huge target for me? So sure, there's little tiny things, but you know what solves pass pro? Stop asking him. Go in the flats, blitz. I dare you. I'm going to throw it to the son of a bitch. Enjoy. We just got 40 yards. Blitz me again. So anyway, I like Deuce. I think he's quite good. And the answer to how you use him is you use him in the way that he's going to earn being used, which is his RB2. Every time Tony Pollard goes, whew, I sure am tired. I could use a breather. Deuce goes and carries the ball a couple times, and then he comes back to the sideline. I tell you what, he might take Turpin's job as the punt returner too. Turpin wasn't great the second half of the year, putting the ball on the ground, fiddle farting around. Deuce Vaughn might take that job too, because Deuce Vaughn's good as hell. He's good as hell.
What has changed in your demeanor and mindset that all of a sudden now you're in love with running backs? Like you literally stood on a mountaintop by yourself as the world shot darts at you for your hate at running back. And now all of a sudden, a 5'5" running back comes to the Cowboys and you're magically in love with running back again. Like what happened?
Well, I'm 6'3", and you know, because you're a full size man as well. You're what are you, 6'3" about, give or take? That's the same. And I've seen the struggle that it is for my short kings, and so I stand for them. No, the only thing is like here. My thing was, and by the way, back padding is so stupid. There's no reason for it. Like, just say what you say and go on about your day. I was right about running backs. I was just 5 years ahead of your favorite football team. You're seeing it now, baby. You're seeing it now. But I don't hate running backs. I hate paying running backs all the money after you've already used up their best years in their first 4 or 5 years in the league. Deuce has 0 years in the league. I like the good. I just want the good play. I want to give the ball to the best player I can at all times. And assuming Tony Pollard is fully recovered, he's one of the 5 best backs in the league. I do want to have one of the best. I just don't want to pretend that there is this massive difference once you're 4 or 5 years in the league. And it's like, all right, should I spend 6% of my salary cap on this individual running back when I can get 80 to 90% of his production for 1/15 of the price? No, you should never pay the running back that much money. Unless, God, he'd have to be such a super freak. And you would be banking on no decline, which is really hard to do, as evidenced by all the dudes who are signing now are guys who got cut after getting big extensions. Anyway, I don't hate running backs. I hate paying running backs. Deuce doesn't make any money. He's a 6th-round pick. That's the greatest pick in the history of football. Well, unless he played a more valuable position.
Yeah, I think, you know what? And maybe it is. Maybe I am hating on the short kings. I just look at, and now everyone's gonna say, well, what about Darren Sproles? Like that's one in a million. That's like the elitist song.
That's who Deuce is.
And
get ready. That's who he is. Same college, same production. That's who he is.
We are going to see. We are going to see these next. We're going to see what they really feel about Deuce come Saturday. If he's now put into the rotation where he's now getting snaps with that first group, that comes out and plays in the first half, then I'll start thinking about, okay, they're really feeling Deuce in a way that you feel. But if Deuce plays another game where he's playing second half football, then they don't feel that way about him. I think he'll be a great story. I think he may stick around. But we all know, like, the guys who make the football team, who are actively going to be in the game plan, are the guys who are going to play in first half games. They want to see those guys early, and then the second half for the guys, all right, let's just piece this thing through. Let's see if one of these guys stand out, if we can find a diamond in the rough, a guy who can kind of slide to the practice squad, develop, kind of make do with what they can do on the back end. So, yeah, this week it's going to be a huge display for the short guy. If he gets in those first half reps, then I'll have to come back next week and go, all right, maybe Brian Shoddy and Freaky Mike see him differently. If he's playing second half football, they see him as a guy who will probably make the roster, but will be a guy who probably will have some DNPs, might take a position on special teams, might not. I don't know. But this week will tell a lot about how they feel about Deuce Vaughn.
You don't understand my love for Deuce, because I don't want to see him in the first half. Bubble wrapping, baby. We're ready to go. We're ready to play. No more Deuce. No injury risk for my guy.
Oh, my God.
Look, Deuce has to stand ready, because if something happens to Pollard, we're giving it to you 18 times a game, baby. We got a bubble wrap Deuce.
Pollard, they're going to find a guy in free agency. That's what's going to happen.
I'm bubble wrapping Deuce. Anyway, Zack Martin's at camp, Jesse. How's that make
That's going to help Deuce. That is, if anything's going to help Deuce, not bubble wrapping. If anything will help Deuce, Rico, Malik, Tony Pollard, and whoever the hell else you want to sign. What's the guy from South Dakota State? What's his name?
Lipke. Hunter Lipke.
Hunter Lipke. What's going to help Hunter Lipke is having number 70 line up on the offensive line.
But again, that's why we got a bubble wrap Deuce, because you know damn well 70 ain't blocking in the preseason. Ain't doing nothing.
Zack Martin is back, where he rightfully should be. This is one of those deals where we make the jokes, right, because it's fun to make the jokes. And if you've been around this organization long enough, you do realize Jerry loses these battles 90% of the time when it comes to these level caliber of players. They do. They cave in. They don't have. It's always seemed like these guys who go into these negotiations, the Cowboys never have anyone behind them that can really push them and make them say, you know what? Don't come back. We're going to go with this guy. It's always something where it's like, you know what? On second thought, we do need this guy. But this was a deal that, we can make the jokes, like I said, but it was a win-win for everybody. Zach got a raise. Jerry didn't make him the highest paid guard in the National Football League, but he got his best football player back in football pads, back in the locker room. So it's a win-win for everybody. It's a win-win for Cowboy fans. I know Dak is happy. Deuce is happy. Everyone's happy that Zach is back in the mix.
Zach got his little kiss on his way to retirement, because the fact that he wasn't looking for an extension, he was like, no, I just want you to guarantee my money and give me a raise for the 2 I got left. That's it. That's what I need. Like that man's got 2 left and he's out of here. So we're going to need to win a Super Bowl in the next 2. Okay. Otherwise we're going to have to figure out a whole new offensive line pretty soon. But,
the Cowboys, what they should be doing is preparing for this. They should see the writing on the wall and start saying, you know what, next draft, maybe we should start picking guards and tackles pretty high in the draft. I'm not saying first-round picks.
No, we're going to pick a nose tackle and a tight end in the first 2 rounds. I shouldn't take shots. I hope that Mozzie and Scooney are incredible. I'd like to take all that back. I'm sorry.
But, yeah, forecasting for the future. I never knew that I could be as glad as I am for an offensive lineman to be back. But to have him back is definitely eased. If I had some anxiety about what this football team could be as a whole, it definitely lessened that. Zack Martin is the weighted blanket of football players. He eases all the anxiety that you may have about a position or a position group. When you're that good, that consistent for that long, I think I'm going to call Zack Martin the weighted blanket now.
Yeah, he makes me feel safe. All right, Zeke is going to the Patriots. I'll just say this to fantasy owners: trade Ramondre Stevenson. He had a really good year last year. but I know how this party works. Yes, Ramondre Stevenson is going to have 200-something carries for 1,000 yards, and he's going to have a great average per carry. And when they get to the 3, they're going to hand that bitch to Zeke, okay? I know how this works. Zeke is going to score 10 touchdowns, maybe 12. Stevenson is going to go for 1,200 yards and 2 tutties. So just fantasy draft accordingly. That's all I got.
I am extremely happy for Zeke to be back in the National Football League. I don't know if I'm extremely happy for Zeke to be in New England. And the only reason this is me hating. No, this is me hating. I don't know
New England is a career ender for a lot of veterans. They show up and they go, "This ain't for me."
This is what I'm saying. Like, this is the part that people don't understand. As someone who is an alumni of the New England Patriots and also sent me home and into retirement, there's other folks at New England, veteran guys that New England get their hands on, and it just seems like the next step for guys who are kind of plus 5, 6, 7 years in the league, go to New England and they go home.
Didn't Ocho do it? And didn't
Ocho,
Andre Johnson do it?
Ocho,
did Reggie Wayne do it?
Wayne, Andrew Hawkins. I mean, there's a bunch of jokers. Myself, I mean, a lot of cats go to New England and Brandon Lloyd and do a year in New England and then go, you know what? Head on out to the crib, man. This ain't for me no more. But no, super happy for Zeke. And for those weirdos out there who think that Zeke got a fresh cut because there's a policy in New England, stop, guys.
No, he wants to run faster. Everybody knows that.
Like Tom Brady has had long hair. Julian Edelman has had a beard out the wazoo. They've had Brandon Spikes there. They had Brandon Bolden there. I mean, there is no hair policy in New England. Zeke just wanted a fresh start, a fresh look. He looks good, looks clean, looks fresh. And maybe that I do sometimes Bleav, I don't know if it's going to make him run faster, but a good fresh cut will help the look out.
A little faster, a little quicker, because he's lighter now. Like that, he'd lost at least a 1/12 of a pound, so he's going to be a little more aerodynamic.
That's only important. Disappointing thing that I'm going to miss is the off-season workouts videos with his trainer. I love watching them because I love trying to decipher what the hell is he talking about. When he, I'm like, what is he saying? So I'm going to miss those videos this year of Zeke with his trainer training this offseason, because that is one of the joys of social media is I get on the chance to watch those videos and try to decipher what he's actually saying to Zeke as they're training.
The Jameis videos in the offseason are my favorite.
Those are up there.
Jameis kills it. He just it's a great time. Okay, I'm done. You done? You good?
Yeah, Cowboys have game this weekend, and we'll recap that later on this week.
Yeah, damn right we will. You sons of biscuits.
Zack Martin's back.
Bleav in the Dallas Cowboys. We're getting the hell out of here. I'm Jeff. That's Jesse. It was brought to you by BetOnline. Remember, you have no idea what anyone's going through, so be cool to everyone. Be easy.
Eliminate the contingencies.